The Revolution Rumble is in the books. We know who the number one contender is for the undisputed British Wrestling Championship, and we also know when that person is going to cash in the opportunity. Welcome everybody back to the channel where we review last Sunday's Revolution Rumble. I was there myself in presence, and big thanks to the Grizzled young veterans, Drake and Gibson, for the scarf. They had their scarf now on show. It was great to meet them. Great to see Josh Alexander. Show itself was absolutely phenomenal, top to bottom, as always. Some matches on here that will literally blow you away. If you haven't already got the on-demand service for Revolution Pro Wrestling, I would seriously go and do it right now and go and watch this show. So the show begins with Connor Mills and Luke Jacobs. Connor Mills didn't want a spot in the Revolution Rumble. He wanted Luke's spot in the Revolution Rumble. This was listen, when you hear the words Connor Mills and you hear Luke Jacobs, you know it's going to be a hard-hitting, strong style slugfest. It absolutely was. It spilt on the outside of the ring. Mills had a big dive onto Jacobs. There was a big suplex onto a brainbuster as well. There was some three really killer, nasty sounding headbutts from Jacobs. And later on in the match, he did apply the crossface to which Mills tapped for. So Colin Mills did not get Luke Jacobs' spot in the Revolution Rumble. However, those two in the ring, could see it all over again, anytime, any place, anywhere. It would be absolutely great to see that again at Rev Pro. Now, the second match on the show was Leon Slater, Josh Alexander. As both of them men entered the ring, there was a deafening TNA chant out of York Hall Bethnal Green. It's a great venue, by the way. There was a great TNA chant. This was a high flying but technical encounter between two guys that are just absolutely phenomenal at what they do. Josh Alexander is a great pure wrestling athlete. Leon Slater has got the speed and the high flying, the agility to just blow your mind with some of the stuff that he does. And he done a dive onto the outside quite early on as well. This went on nearly 20 minutes. It was such a great match. Alexander was using his experience as well, and he was kind of grounding Slater quite a lot, and this wouldn't let Slater do too much. But once Slater got into that second gear, he went into it, and he's flying around. It was just an unbelievable match, outstanding, probably close to match of the night for me. However, there was a bit there where Josh Alexander went for the ankle lock and Leon Slater rolled him up for a shock 1, 2, 3. But TNA guys, if you are listening to this, and I hope that you do, we do have a nice relationship with the TNA, especially in the UK media section. If you listen to this, just book that match at any time in TNA, whether it's got a title implication or not. You want to be booking Josh Alexander, Leon Slater, maybe in a best of 3, a best of 5, a best of 7 series, and just let them blow the roof off your arenas that you go to. It was incredible. Now, the third match was the first title match of the evening. It was Subculture defending the tag team championships against the Grizzled Young Veterans. Now, I would say with this that the opening 5 minutes or so of this match, I felt like the fans and the ringside were just getting their energy back from 2 amazing matches first to then this match, which was what I would class as a pay-per-view WWE AEW sort of main event type of match. You knew the guys there had worked in WWE, had worked in TNA, because of the way they conduct themselves in the ring. Subculture, you get everything with them. Grizzled young veterans, you know what they're like in the ring as well. It was, the match itself was just great. I just think it was a killer spot for it to be in, just because of the greatness of the other 2 matches. It was kind of good that it didn't follow the next match that we're going to talk about in a minute, but tremendous tag team style match as well. There was a flying knee into a poison rama. There was a coast to coast from Drake in this, which was incredible. And then there was a big tombstone on the outside before they hit Grit Your Teeth, and the Grizzled Young Veterans became the new tag team champions. It got a standing ovation as it should have done. The crowd got once they got into it, they were hot. It was a brilliant, brilliant tag team encounter. However, as the Grizzled Young Veterans were celebrating, the Greedy Souls come out and were laying it into the Grizzled Young Veterans. And I was thinking to myself at the time, because we all knew that the Grizzled Young Veterans were hated until recently. It's even at Rev Pro. I remember when Zach Gibson attacked Michael Oku after a match against Luke Jacobs or maybe Ricky Knight Jr. I can't remember. And the crowd were into him. Who would have thought that the Greedy Souls would be more hated than the Grizzled Young Veterans? Potentially, they've got a right to be. There was some controversy surrounding their last tag team matches with Subculture anyway. But nevertheless, congratulations to the Grizzled Young Veterans. But you've got your target already on your backs, and the Greedy Souls want their gold. Now, here's the thing. I was just saying about how lucky that they were that they wasn't really in after the next match. Now, we always say on this, and we're big on this channel, we're very big at saying you need to push women's wrestling. You know, not necessarily at the UK independent scene, but in America, we said that TNA and NWA are probably the only two that really every single week you will get a women's match and it will mean something and there'll be a feud and they'll have all the components needed for a women's wrestling match. Not saying that that sometimes they seem forgotten about when it's different to the men, and we always say treat them equally. If any promotion out there wants to see how a woman's not only a women's wrestling match but a woman's feud needs to be booked, watch the trilogy between Dani Luna and Alex Windsor. I mean, it started way back. Alex Windsor won the Rev Pro Championship actually at York Hall Bethnal Green, probably July last year. She returned from her injury. She won the Undisputed Women's Championship. Then they had a few matches, her and Dani, where Alex was coming out on top over the course of the year. Dani won the championship at high stakes in February, and you thought that was it. But she was attacked, I believe, at the 229, might be a week or two later, by Alex Windsor with a dog chain or a chain. And that led to a dog collar match that they had this Sunday. And I will tell you what, like, the match told an amazing, amazing story for one. They got color. Both women were bleeding because they were hitting each other in the head with chains. There were a bit where Alex was tying Dani around the ring post. It was a physical match fitting to potentially, and we don't know this, but to potentially end the feud. This was the physicality needed to get to that stage. Right near the end of it, there was a power driver onto the apron. There was a ref bump, and at this point, Alex Windsor had Dani Luna in the sharpshooter, and Luna is literally like a claret face. And it reminded me of Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania when Austin passed out to the pain. I was thinking that was where it was going. Dani was going to pass out to the pain. Alex would win the championship. But no. She managed to get out. They brought a dog, I say kennel, but it's a dog cage, and it got used. I mean, both women went through it. Alex definitely went through it big time. There was a huge German off the rope into the gut wrench powerbomb from Dani Luna, which won the match for her. It was unbelievable. That is how you book a women's wrestling feud done right there at Revolution Pro Wrestling. Like Andy said when he was on the show, you need a great action with a story wrap around it. That is exactly what they've done. Kudos to both Alex Windsor and Dani Luna. What's next for these two, we don't know, but what a fitting way to end what was a fantastic, nearly year-long feud between those two women. And it's nice because it did sort of go into crossroads a little bit and then it come back, and I really thought that was good. Well, I really thought the whole trilogy was great between those two. And kudos to Rev Pro for putting that on. It was brilliant the way it was. The story was told perfectly. Michael Oku and Leyton Buzzard was next. For the championship. Now both these men were pulling double duty. They'd be in the Rumble match that was next. Very difficult for them to. I mean, they literally went for it for nearly 20 minutes as well. There was a lot going on this as well. Leyton Buzzard come out with Senex as well, Brett Senex, and he got involved. He gave Amira a vicious push into the post, I think, at one point. There was a really quick start from Oku. Then Leyton takes over with some huge chops. There was a flying frog splash. There was a half crab attempt. As I said, Senex got involved. Big pop-up power bomb from Buzzard for a very close 2. And there was a huge one from the top rope as well, which got a 2.9. There was a top rope poison Rama from Oku, and then a frog splash for literally probably a 2.99999. Semex gets thrown out at this point, but funny enough, he gets thrown out and he goes to the back, the back area, walks around the back of the arena and comes back because there's a ref bump at one point as well. And then he spears Oku. Semex comes back, spears Oku over the barricade. There was a tombstone on the apron, followed by a 450 from Leyton Buzzard, which again got a 2.99999. There was a Kimura locked in as well from Leyton. Now, at this point, the match takes a bit of a bad turn. Now, Leyton Buzzard goes for a move. He just hits the deck. I personally thought he was concussed. Wasn't quite sure what the problem was. Oku hits a frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Match finishes. Oku retains. But there is some concern at Leyton Buzzard, and he was literally carried where I was. Not carried. He was held, but walked back, so pretty much beside me. And I thought it was a concussion because he actually looked out of it. It turns out it wasn't, and we'll go into that a bit more because there is a bit of stuff that happens in the Rumble. So we'll talk about it more, and we'll talk a bit more about Leyton after the Rumble itself. Now, Jordan Breaks and Josh Alexander were the first people in the Rumble. It was a good technical battle. Jordan Oliver comes in as actually Blanc. He was very exciting actually when he first came in. He's a high flying luchador type character. It was great. JJ Gao comes in and cleans house. He eliminates Josh Alexander. Now they had a match the next day in Southampton, so that really just kickstarted that. Robbie X comes in. He goes absolutely crazy in the match. You can imagine what Robbie X would be like. Will Caven comes in. Never seen Will Caven before. Very impressed by what he done. And I started to zone out a little bit, and I'll tell you why. Anthony Ogogo comes out next. He destroys Blanc. He eliminates him, and he eliminates Jordan Oliver. True and Lacey. Which one was in the Rumble? We don't know. They didn't even get in the ring. They were attacked by a go. Michael Oku was then next. He'd not long finished the match. He was out next. He attacks True and Lacey on the outside as well. But Michael Oku wasn't in the ring long before Anthony Ogogo throws him out, which is, And at this point, these eliminations were happening quite quickly, and Ogogo was cleaning house. I'm not a big Anthony Ogogo fan. I don't see the draw in him. I was sitting quite close, and you could tell that he's still not quite ring savvy. Listen, I'm not ring savvy at all either. What am I talking about? I've only done training. I've never got in the ring. But when you watch people in that Revolution Pro Wrestling, and they can literally pull off moves without even looking. Anthony Ogogo, it's in some cases, it was very close between them undershooting the move because he's too far away. They had to it felt like they were not holding back, but having to reset because he's not in the right position to do moves. So Ogogo for me just wasn't working and hasn't worked in the last few times that I've seen him. Throwing these guys out, I started personally to zone out. It just wasn't my thing. And then RKJ comes out, and RKJ and Anthony Ogogo have had beef. Anthony Ogogo turned on him. They had their match. Ogogo knocked him out. RKO comes in, he eliminates Anthony Ogogo, he eliminates Will Caven, which was, you know, great. And finally, Anthony Ogogo got a barrage of abuse coming our way back again, because going out the back would be past us and where we were sitting. The next out was Spike Trebay. I hadn't seen Spike since February. He still, people, he does his job so well because people hate him. And that's why Spike is so good at what he does, because people legitimately hate him. Funnily enough, we saw him. He was walking past us. We were queuing up outside York Hall Bethnal Green, and he's sort of, you know, very sort of didn't want to get noticed kind of thing. And he's glaring back at you, and you just kind of like, all right, Spike, you know, and he looks very awkward. Anyway, but you know. He was in the ring. Brett Semtex then come out. He was in the Rumble. He done a massive spear to RKJ as well. That them two lots started carrying on. Then Brendan from the Greedy Souls tries to come out, and he's attacked on the aisleway by these boys, the Grizzled Young Veterans. They come out and attack him. He gets in the ring. He gets thrown, eliminated by True and Lacey, funnily enough. And then Gabe Kidd returns in the Rumble. He knocks out Lacey. He power drives True. He's not in a good mood, Gabe Kidd, at this point. But after that, Cameron Kai comes out, and he's such an impressive talent. I really want to see Cameron have a lot more matches. I mean, he does get quite a few matches at Rev Pro. You do see him on the cards a lot. I just want to see, when we get around to near, you know, the ending of the year, I want to see where Cameron Kai is going to be. I think he's got a big future at Rev Revolution Pro, and not just a big future at Rev Pro, but a big future in wrestling. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for Cameron Kai. He was really impressive when he came in and started in the Rumble. And then Trent 77777 Trent and 7 comes out. He got a huge reaction as he come out, and he was quickly followed out by Shah Samuels, who literally was straight after Spike Trevay. They've been having a bit of a to-do in Rev Pro over the recent months. Spike Trevay runs out the back of this, and then comes Mike DiVecchio. Now, the Belgian War Machine. I've never seen this guy. He's got the look, and you kind of think generally like, okay, he's got the look. You know, he's a like Brett Semtex type of build. And I'm thinking, well, is he just another big guy? He has got so much more to him than just the size and the stature. He goes crazy as well. Then he comes up against Brett Semtex. He throws Brett Semtex out. DiVecchio, really impressive in this Rumble. I think he was on the show, that may have been on the show the day after. He might have done the show before. But I want to see more of DiVecchio for certain. Luke Jacobs was next. He went straight after DiVecchio. They were starting to go, you know, going crazy. There was a big top rope German. Spike and Shah comes back out at this point. The Youngbloods Oscar comes out. He starts body slamming everybody. And then True and Cameron Kai are eliminated by Oscar and DiVecchio. They were having this big body slam off in the middle of the ring. Out comes Erie next. There was headbutts, big splashes. Sunshine Machine's Mambo was next. He come flying in onto Gabe Kidd, and you know what happens when Sunshine Machine come out. Crowd goes crazy, and Mambo goes flying. Generally, Dani from the Greedy Souls were next. This was great because of what happened to Brendan. He made sure he had security around him as well, which was quite funny. TK from the Sunshine Machine was out next, and then David Francisco was next, and I've never seen him wrestle actually at Rev Pro. This is my first time I'd seen him, and he eliminates Mikey D and Oscar and Shy. Now, the interesting thing about that is he got eliminated by JJ Gal, actually, David Francisco. The interesting thing about the Shah Samuels one is Shah Samuels has been mentoring David Francisco at the Rev Pro schools. So it's kind of kicked off between them a little bit. I think David Francisco may have tried to bite off a bit more than he can chew on this. And yeah, certainly I'm interested to see what happens with those two. The teacher be the student, perhaps. And then Leon Slater comes out, and he takes out everybody with a dive as soon as he comes in. He's all over the place. Then Leyton Buzzard's music hits. And he comes out with one boot on, one boot off, and the doctor is waving it off. He's not coming out. So he selects one of the crew to go in at this point, one of the young guys or the ring crew to go in. But that guy's then attacked by Connor Mills. And Connor Mills gets in there and he eliminates Trent Seven. The vets are back outside the ring. That leads to Dani getting eliminated. Sunshine Machine eliminate Erie, and then number 30 comes out. It was Chris Ridgway. I'm not going to rant about that. Yeah, let's just say Chris Ridgway was fair. Nothing against Rev Pro, by the way. Just, but yeah, Chris Ridgway was number 30. Mambo, TK and Mambo were eliminated by Richard Jacobs. Jacobs eliminates Ridgway. Mills and Slater basically are there. They get eliminated. And then the final four is Gabe Kidd, it's Luke Jacobs, it's RKJ, and it's JJ Gal. Gabe Kidd gets eliminated by JJ Gal, who then gets eliminated by Luke Jacobs. And the final two are Luke Jacobs and RKJ. Mills is then coming back with a steel chair. He goes to hit people. He's pissed off, so he's hitting people with chairs and whatnot, and crazy stuff is going on. But then I've never seen, and again, this isn't any disrespect to the young chap that come in, but Northwest Strong's Luke Jacobs, his old tag team partner, comes in and returns to Rev Pro, assists with that, gets Connor Mills out, and then basically Luke Jacobs eliminates the last competitor in the ring with him, which was RKJ, and Luke Jacobs wins the match. He stands tall with his tag team partner and then decides that he is going to cash in the shot at Michael Oku. Well, whoever the champion is, we reckon it's Oku. Oku's still got title defenses before then. Again, who he'll be going against, whoever the champion is, at the Copper Box Arena in August, the day before All In, and he'll be taking on whoever the champion will be at that point. It was a tremendous show. Rev Pro always put on some fantastic shows. We mentioned Leyton Buzzard in that with an injury. He's done his ACL and MCL in his leg. He will be out for approximately 9 to 12 months. He'd done a video yesterday. We're very, we wish him very well. It's a devastating injury for him. And again, without being destroyed, that was the first time I'd seen him in the ring. Again, very impressive. And we wish him very, very well indeed. And we wish him all the best and a speedy recovery. And we hope to see El Capitan back real soon. Just to double check, Ethan Allen was the guy that come out and helped Luke Jacobs on his return to Rev Pro as well. So it had some very, very good matches. It was a tremendous, tremendous show. Rev Pro always deliver fantastic wrestling, great storylines. Check out Rev Pro on Demand if you haven't done already. Make sure that you do. And that, guys, was the Revolution Rumble review from myself, Adam Cousins, who was in attendance on Sunday. Fantastic show. Great to meet Josh Alexander. Always good to see the Grizzled young veterans and my boys, the Ministry of Wrestling. We had a great fun on the outside. Go check out their channel as well, Ministry of Wrestling, on all of your socials. Make sure you catch them up, catch on them up, because they've got some great stuff coming out as well. So keep your eyes peeled on them. Always follow us, HTT Buckle, on Twitter, Hitting the Turnbuckle Podcast, all other social media networks. But until next time, everybody, take care. Goodbye.